You know what I don't understand? PlayStation insiders. PlayStation insiders and people who claim to be insiders, the Detective Seeds and the Moore's Law and all these guys who supposed to be insiders. The same team that spoke about Project Latitude. So why didn't you guys talk about Project closing down Bluepoint Studios? Where is that? They only know news about Xbox. They know when Xbox is about to lay off persons. They know when Xbox is about to raise Game Pass, when they're about to raise their consoles. But for some reason, these guys don't know anything about what Sony is doing. Why is that? Why is no insider know what Sony is about to do to leak this or so forth? And it really goes to show how they are always looking at your house, but they are not looking within. They are not looking what is happening to Sony. Because as far as what the PlayStation community love to sell is that, guess what? There is nothing happening with Sony. Sony is doing good in all metrics. Nothing is happening. Nothing is wrong with Sony. This is the narrative they love to spew out of their pie hole. But today, we have to salute and send Bluepoint down in the hole. I'm sorry for the devs, but let me just say, this is something that Jim Ryan would have orchestrated, and this is the result of it. Yes, I'm sorry to say, but Bluepoint go down in the hole. So I'm sorry that it has to come to this, Bluepoint. You're out of here, you're gone. Because you made a deal with Sony, and guess what? You should know and should have done your research that this is what Sony does. This is what Sony is doing. So I'm sorry to say, but go down in the graveyard. Go down in the hole. I'm sorry. You're out of there. Wow, how no PlayStation fans saw this coming. Were they too occupied by saying Xbox was dead?
Your guest guy here. Today we're talking about PlayStation because Sony just shut down maybe one of their best studios, and everybody is instantly pissed. I'm doing my best to keep my cool, but I have to admit that I hate this era of acquisitions. Whether it is Xbox or Tencent or anybody, it feels like so many of these companies that have billions of dollars of acquisition budget buy companies, have them do like one game and then do massive layoffs. Even if the game is a success, even if the games are great, even if the games are filled with passion and stuff, these acquisitions never end good. Now,
but if these acquisitions never end good, why didn't you say something when Sony acquired Bluepoint, when Sony acquired more than 10 studios in the current generation? And guess what? 3 of them are now dead. Why didn't anyone predict that this would have happened? Half of them have yet to or never gotten chance to ship a game. So think about this. Listen to what I'm saying. Out of the 10 studios that Sony acquired, 3 are now dead by the grim reaper that is Sony and PlayStation. And half of them didn't even get to ship games. Why aren't these ponies talking about that? Bluepoint, now an excellent studio according to you guys, is now dead. They were good all by themselves, but Sony killed them. Now Dreamcast guy has a problem with that.
Keep in mind, Sony doesn't do as many buyouts as other people have done, right? They've bought pretty much Bungie, they bought stuff here and there, but Bluepoint was considered to be their best dollar for dollar purchase, and they just told everybody to get out. They literally haven't even announced it publicly yet. The employees are leaking the fact that Sony just sent out a mass email saying, the studio is shut, grab your stuff and get out. Let's look at the news. Let's talk about it. And I want to explain why this happened, because this is straight up Sony mismanagement. PlayStation badly playing the game of PlayStation. Hi.
Yes, all of these ponies are now reacting after the fact. None of them predicted anything like this. None of them even said something is wrong with Sony by not putting out games as much as they could, last year, coming into this month. Everyone is saying here what Sony is okay, but this is what these guys get. Listen to this fan here who is one of the biggest horses out there. Listen to him. Listen to what he said. I usually don't say much about Sony. We know, and they are business decisions. As long as we get the games and the quality is there. But PlayStation shutting down Bluepoint Games, absolutely abhorrent. Herman Holtz and Hideki Nishino are going to destroy PlayStation. And then he uses profanity and he says brain rot.
PlayStation shuts down Bluepoint Games in surprise studio closure. Bluepoint Games has been shut down by its parent company, a move that will shutter the studio known for high-profile remakes and end work on projects that never reach the public eye. Bluepoint Games closure details. PlayStation confirmed the decision to close Bluepoint Games, describing the team as talented and noting the studio's technical expertise.
No! Lay down! Pin him again! What are you trying to prove, sir? You the next Undertaker? This ain't it, brother. You are dead. Die. Quit. They pay you probably about $20 an hour.
The shutdown followed a recent business review. The closure will impact roughly 70 employees when it officially occurs next month. Woo! The studio's last known internal work included development on a live service entry in the God of War universe, a project that was canceled in January of 2025 before it was revealed publicly. Acknowledged the contributions of the Bluepoint Games team, thanking them for their passion, creativity, and craftsmanship. The company also noted that Bluepoint supported other studio efforts even as it pursued its own projects. Bluepoint Games was widely recognized for remakes of major titles, and its most recent public release was a remake that launched alongside next-generation hardware. The studio also contributed support work on other major releases. Despite that track record, the canceled Live Service God of War project halted in January of 2025, and the inability to greenlight a follow-up internally preceded the decision to close the studio. What comes next? The closure marks an abrupt end to the studio's operations under its parent company, with the formal shutdown scheduled for next month.
And this is how fair and unreasonable Sony is, because think about it, guys. If Jim Ryan gave Bluepoint the mandate to make games as a service, live service God of War game, and then after they saw what they were doing and it was not a good decision, why do Sony needed to penalize Bluepoint for something that Sony wanted to do? Bluepoint did not come up with the idea to make games as a service. Sony did. So why Bluepoint have to suffer for Sony's mismanagement? Could somebody answer me that? Could any pony in the chat let me know why that is so?
By shutting down Bluepoint. The tragic evisceration of the gaming industry continues unabated with Sony's newly announced closure of Bluepoint Games, the studio behind some highly praised titles such as the Demon's Souls remake and the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. Bluepoint hasn't released a game since 2020's Demon's Souls, but it had been working on a live service God of War game, which was also canned by Sony in 2025. Sony exec Herman Holst has put this closure down to rising development costs, changing player behavior, and broader economic headwinds, and not the fact that he inexplicably put a company renowned for its sterling remakes onto a live service project that absolutely no one wanted apart from the trend-chasing shareholders, rather than, I don't know, a remake of the Killzone trilogy or something. Sad times and another avoidable loss for gaming as a whole.
Wow. So they are making Bluepoint pay for a decision that they made. That is crazy. But there's another decision that Sony is making that these ponies are quiet about. Why isn't no one talking about how Sony is going to charge PlayStation gamers more? Yes, you heard me, more. As RAM prices increase, Sony is planning to have the gamers, have their customers, offset the prices that they would be paying. So yes, Sony is going to charge their gamers more, and that is not a rumor. That is actually what the CFO there at Sony said. Listen to what she said here.
Sony will offset soaring RAM prices by further monetizing PS5 players. Ramping up by Sammy Barker. As we all know by now, the tech industry is in a real bind. Demand from AI companies has disrupted the global supply chain of RAM, pushing prices sky high. It's affecting everyone, from hobbyists shopping for PC components to giant consumer electronics companies like Sony. Last year, we reported that the Japanese giant had obtained enough RAM to shield it from the price increases in the short term. And speaking during its earnings call earlier this month, CFO Lin Tao pointed out it has enough memory to see it through 2026 as well. Going forward, we intend to further negotiate with various suppliers to secure enough supply to meet the demand of our customers. She promised. But even though it's okay for now, rising prices are going to put a strain on its business. So how does Sony intend to deal with that? Well, according to Tao, the company plans to offset surging costs by focusing on monetizing the installed base. This means it wants to extract more dollars from the wallets of existing PS5 owners. She specifically mentioned growing software and network revenue. So we could be looking at anything from price increases to PS Plus to more aggressive efforts to get people spending more money. It's going to be interesting to see how it balances consumer satisfaction with aggressive sales targets. If the RAM price increases do eventually attack Sony's bottom line, then it's going to have to make back the money somewhere. We're already beginning to hear rumors that the PS6 may be delayed internally, which is going to dramatically upset the platform holders' plans for the next few years.
Wow, after 90 million consoles shipped, but guess what? You guys can't even hold the price as it is? 90 million shipped could not save Bluepoint and other studios? How many more studios have to close down, Sony? How many more studios have to close down? I mean, we already have a list. This is crazy, guys. Let me hear what you thought about everything you would have heard in the video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.